Alright, so maybe I've been a little negative towards Black Ops 7 recently, but I'm here to tell you that that's not changing with this video because I unfortunately had the displeasure of attempting to play ranked play yesterday, and I have a much lower tolerance for frustration than some of you do. But I'm not flip-flopping here. A lot of what I'm going to be talking about is stuff that I mentioned when this game came out. I said if these things don't change, I'm going to be having a fit later in March, and here we are just a few days away from March, and I'm having my fit. I'll try to remember to link some of my early Black Ops 7 videos just to prove that I'm not flip-flopping or that my honeymoon period is over. These are things that I mentioned a while back. I'm not hating for views or because I had a bad play session and I'm butthurt. There are serious issues here that warrant complaining about, and so we are going to do that today. Let's hit the big three first and then move on to the smaller things just so I don't waste your guys' time. In case you have something better to go do, let's hit the first big three here. First things first, the game is not hitting its FPS target still. I mentioned this when the game came out. I've mentioned this in multiple videos. And while both of my fix videos have helped me considerably, changing the eco mode, doing full power resets on my Series X to stop the memory leak issue, have improved the game experience for me. I wouldn't be streaming the game at all if it was as bad as it was at launch. They've definitely updated some things, changed some things. It is running better than it used to be, but it's still not hitting 120 FPS as its target. This is incredibly frustrating because I came back from playing Cold War and Modern Warfare 2 and 3. I played a lot of the 120 Hz era COD games on stream recently, and it was incredibly jarring to come to this game to try to play the ranked mode and have a less consistent, more buggy frame rate. And when I say buggy, it's because it's not really tied to anything in particular. I mean, yeah, certain streaks on certain maps just completely, halt the game to like 10 FPS right now and make the game incredibly blurry. That happened to me a couple times while playing ranked, so that is a bug. But I mean, just like when you're in an intense gunfight, suddenly you go to like pull your camera really far right and aim at somebody sliding past you, and the game is just sort of stuttering that entire time, but it won't do it the next time, but it will do it the time after that. Sometimes when I'm sliding or my character is moving around the areas of the map where there's no action happening, no streaks are being called in, I'm not getting shot at, there's no players on screen, and suddenly I'll just turn my camera and it'll be smeary and kind of stuttery. So it's not just low frame rate, it's like an actual memory leak issue. The console is having trouble running the game, and I know it's not my console, I know it's not my internet, I know it's not this engine, because playing any Call of Duty game for the last 6 years provides a better frame rate experience than this. In my head, this issue started in like Modern Warfare 2 or 3, but I went and played those recently. I had really fun live streams on them, and one of the things that made it so fun was just playing a game that looks really good and runs really well. I didn't have any problems with inconsistent frame rates and bad frame pacing. If it dropped a frame when I was playing MW2 or 3, I didn't notice. I could play ranked, I could play competitive, I could, can confidently 1v1 somebody in those games just because I know my game isn't going to be betraying me on that base feel level. So that's number one. I said that I would have trouble playing ranked or playing the game at all if this isn't fixed, and while the game is currently running well enough for me to justify playing TDM or some domination, it's really hard to lock in and play competitively against good players when my game just isn't running well. Next thing is the ping. I had roughly 60 to 70 millisecond ping every match of ranked I played after I got placed. I don't know if it's a low player population or what, but during a double XP weekend on a Sunday, I should not have trouble finding a ranked match, especially when there's only one ranked playlist. We'll get to that in a second. There's no way the player base in ranked is that split up that I can't find anybody in my region trying to go for wins. Having server and client level latency, lag, stuttering, just not feeling good on top of this game's already shoddy hit detection is a terrible feeling. Give me 70 millisecond ping, a game that can't hit its frame rate target, and already shoddy and weird hit detection, and disconnects and desync between player movements in third and first person. I really have trouble taking it seriously as a competitive environment. Again, I complain about that stuff in pubs, but pubs don't really matter. I can back out of a game if it's really bad. I can take a break and play a prop hunt or something. But in ranked, I'm trying to win. I'm actually trying to lock in. Ranked isn't something I play casually. If I'm going to get into ranked, it's because I want to get into ranked, and I'm being held back by the fact that this game was not, frankly, properly developed. And the next big thing is there is no solo queue. my ping isn't high because the player base is separated between party queue and solo queue. There is no solo queue, which means I have to play with randoms if I'm playing by myself, and I mostly can only guarantee playing by myself. Game modes like Overload and S&D without any communication against 4 stacks is just not something I want to do ever again. And on top of that, the team balancing was terrible. I kept getting paired against full parties while my team was maybe a duo and then a random and then me. And I was going up against duos of like Diamond and Crim players as a Plat 3. And it's like, I have no coordination, my teammates are not on comms, I'm Plat 3, I'm trying to run this game, I'm trying to, get used to this game's shortcomings, and I'm going up against, like, PC player, Crim, and Diamond players. Something to also note is that I'm running with crossplay on, even though I don't want to, because I feel like it makes the game less competitive, but if I don't, the matchmaking times and the lag is even worse. So those are the main issues. Those are the big meat and potato issues that are keeping me from wanting to play this. No solo queue option cuts out half of my ability to play. Overload and S&D do not work without coordinated full stacks of teams. It requires too much coordination, too much planning. The game is not hitting its FPS target and the ping is really high. Now, for smaller issues, the weapon roster is the most dopeless thing I've ever played with. I don't enjoy the M15 enough to want to use it all the time, and the Dravik is the same way. These are two lower rate of fire, low recoil, boring weapons. Our pistol isn't allowed to have attachments. I am fully against anybody who says that ranked should be more variety filled and should have everything unlocked or most of the stuff unlocked. And no, I mean, Call of Duty is a casual open meta game, and the ranked play version of COD is more about the headiness. It's more about thinking ahead and the strategies and trades and, the actual tactics and strategies. I don't want this to be pubs, but no second option? How about 2 SMGs and 2 ARs and maybe 2 pistols? Like, I can't even have, like, recoil springs on my pistol. Like, it's very, very stringent. And again, I expect it to be stringent, just not to this degree. Then you also get the sniper in S&D, but I'm sorry, the sniper in S&D also just feels like one of those things that without coordination and like deciding who on the team is gonna be the sniper is just something nobody really wants to play with. And it's kind of just an oddity that shows up and can definitely reshape the battlefield, but makes the game kind of more frustrating. I don't think there should be like an X9 Maverick or an M8 or whatever, but just something that maybe is somewhere between where the M15 and Dravik are and something with more spike potential, something between that, like a Peacekeeper or the Carbon or the Raiden, I don't know. Also, I want to say, I don't understand Colossus and Blackheart in the roster. If you guys disagree with this one, let me know. I really just don't like these two maps for competitive. They don't feel competitive to me. Colossus, less so than Blackheart, but Blackheart really feels like an oddity here. I don't find this entertaining. I feel like this was put in the CDL pool because it's entertaining to watch pro players have a slug match on a map like this, but when playing with, essentially just randoms online and ranked, this map plays very oddly. I do like the pacing of it in 4v4. It just doesn't feel very competitive. It doesn't really feel like something that should be here. Maybe I'm crazy, but I would much rather have Slums in the rotation or the new Sake map, but like this is, I don't know. I don't like Blackheart in here. The worst part of this is that they delayed this until Season 2 after the honeymoon period's over. After I was done playing this game every day and warming up my aim and getting used to the frame rate inconsistencies and grinding this game out for you guys on live stream, they waited until way after that to release Ranked, and I thought, well, at least that means they're probably going to be fixing the frame rate issues, they're going to be adding more features and things, but they didn't. In my opinion, this is no better than Black Ops 6 Ranked. In fact, with the game's technical issues on Series X and PS5, I would say it's considerably worse than Black Ops 6 Ranked. And so the hype for the game has died down, my playtime in the game has died down, I'm starting to play some other games and trying to entertain you guys with, some past Call of Duty games on stream, because you guys really seem to like that, and I like doing it too. So it's really hard to come back to this sort of buggy, unoptimized game with no solo queue and try to play Ranked. And what's the point of adding seasonal content to the seasonal game if none of that seasonal content's gonna make it into Ranked? If the Maddox isn't competitive enough, the Kagut SMG is not, the Rev isn't, the Egert isn't, none of those are competitive, okay? And none of the maps they're adding are competitive. Is Ranked just going to stagnate with the same maps? and 2 guns and snipers on S&D and no other queues and no other playlists? Is this game really just never going to get its frame rate fixed? Is this game going to have permanent stuttering and permanent frame pacing problems? And is my ping always going to be in the upper 70s? I don't know if you've ever tried to like lock in on Call of Duty and really play your hardest and play until like you're dripping with sweat and really put in your all. That's how I want to play ranked. I want to play ranked for the opposite of the pub experience. But it's immediately tilting because I have to fight the game to do that. If the game at least ran smoothly and I had decent ping in my lobbies, I probably wouldn't even be making this video, but it's the combination of everything that made the play session I tried to do really heartbreaking, because I know I'm better than how I played yesterday. I just know that Treyarch is also better than this. I know that this is not how their AAA shooter should run. It's not enough to look into the problem. It's not enough to know that these problems exist. It's not enough to delay and delay and delay to say you're making something better if nothing good is actually coming of it. But maybe I'm full of shit. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about Black Ops 7 Ranked. This is just my opinion. If you don't share it, that's absolutely fine. I just want to know what everyone's thinking and feeling, because currently, my opinion, as you can tell, is not so high. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.